Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Elizabeth, and you're listening to Interior Wellness. I am joined today by a remarkable woman who I'm just getting to know. Her name is Maytawee, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation, and you get to listen. So thank you so much, Maytawee, for joining me here today.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm so happy to be here.
So you have a remarkable background and so many teachers that you have worked with. This is one thing that's made me really excited to work with you today. But let's start with your journey, how you came to the world of spiritual seeking.
It's quite eclectic, actually. It's a little bit of a story, but it all kind of gets there. So I started at around 14, 15 years old racing motorcycles. And to race motorcycles, you have to really be present, conscious here now, or you could get in a serious accident. And so what I found myself doing was enjoying that part a lot, the sense of the intensity, And as time went on, life went on, and I found myself, slowly growing and being in the restaurant industry, the hospitality industry. And through that, I was invited to a dinner party. And in that dinner party, I saw, in the restaurant industry, you learn to read body language really well. And I saw when people sat beside this person, their disposition seemed to change. They became more calm, centered, like this kind of thing. And I thought, what is this? Next time I come to this gathering again, I'm going to sit down by this person and see what's going on, because I'm watching everybody in this group going through this. So a week later, on a Thursday night, these gatherings would get together. And I went and I sat beside this man. And as I sat beside him, I noticed my field change, and I could feel something. But instead of feeling this peaceful, beautiful energy, I felt this vibration of fire energy and anger and just the explosion of anger inside of me. And I said to him, like, who are you? I watched all these other people sit here, and they moved into this peaceful state. I sit here and I feel like I want to hit you. And he says, oh, very good, very good. I said, don't say that. That's even more triggering me, He said, this is good. This is good. I said, who are you? Why? How is this happening? It baffled me, because I wasn't in this industry. I didn't know spirituality. I had no care for it, And he says, oh, I'm Eckhart Tolle. And I said, what? Who's that? And he said, oh, it's okay. He said, why don't you come walk the beach with me? And I said, because we were in Vancouver, Canada. And I said, why would I want to walk the beach with you? You piss me off. He said, this is why. Come walk the beach with me. And for a year, every day, we walked the beach together. And I got to ask questions. I got to be in his presence. I got to discover the ego mind in such a way that moved my life to a place of great peace, which I didn't know was possible. And my journey with Eckhart just went all over the world. I met so many different types of people that at that time, this industry called maybe the art of wellness or something like this, there was very few people. This was, the 80s, 90s, somewhere around there. And most people that were part of this were maybe in a different field, and the simplicity of we are consciousness, and there's also this rhythm called ego. It's amazing. I had never experienced anything like this. And to me, Eckhart was the first person that I met that could explain it, that was practical, that was real, to the point, and that I could live it every day. A lot of spiritual practices that I sort of saw even after that, because I didn't know too much before, but a lot of the spiritual practices was literally a practice, and you could only do it in that practice, in that time. It wasn't like you could live it in your everyday life when you're busy at work or doing things, you know. And so this was the beautiful gift that I got with him, is that I got to learn how to live it. And in living it, my life did change. And it changed so much that how I was in my life before, I couldn't be anymore. And what that was a recognizing of the true self, of something more than just this fear and desire, fear and desire. What am I going to do in the future? What happened in the past? What's going to happen? You know, these kind of rhythms.
That is a remarkable and such a fun story, that you just sat down beside this guy and who knew who he was. And nowadays everybody'd be like, oh, they'd be so amazed to be able to sit with him. And you were like, whatever. Did you have any inklings before that moment? Like, you were in motorcycle racing and the restaurant industry. Did you have any inklings or questionings before you met Eckhart that opened you?
I knew there was something more to life than just what I was experiencing, because I thought, if this was what life is about, I didn't like it, because all it felt like was working every day, and that was it. You know, working, having some maybe fun in the evening, but I didn't find, there was something inside of me, I couldn't explain it though, there was something inside of me that kind of knew that I could be happy, you know, or that I could feel at peace, but I never really felt at peace. I was always seeking more, trying to achieve, or that what I had wasn't enough, or I was always broke or not broke, and all these things. These are just stories and rhythms that come and go. And so, if I was to say that I maybe dabbled in astrology or maybe some fun tarot card stuff, but I always saw it more as like hobby, playful stuff. I didn't take it as a serious thing. You know, I come from an Irish-Scottish background, so we have these stories of being white witches and the Celtic stuff, you know, and that was all sort of around the family here or there as musicians and in the songs that we would sing and things like that. But again, I never took it that it would be a lifestyle. You know, Eckhart really gave me the opportunity of living life in the moment, because the moment is the only thing you really have. You know?
Yes, that's one of his main and core teachings, is that the now, the power of now, so to speak. It's very true. So let's expand a little bit more on some of the things that you learned from him. Tell us how your life was changed and how your mind was changed.
Well, the very first thing that I got to realize is that inner reflection, you see, that there was always something before that time where I was thinking I needed to achieve out here, or kind of in the future of some kind, to become a bigger, better person, or more successful, or so forth and so on, relationship and all of that. One of the things that I started to notice that was a big aha moment for me was the awareness, like, whoa, there's something inside. There's this energy that I can feel. It's me, but it's here, and it feels very beautifully grounded, strong, and clear. Yet it's not seen out here, but it's felt so profoundly inside. Mm. And I started to investigate that. And I could feel really strong changes happen in my thought patterns, how I perceive the world. So then that meant how I responded to the world. And so my response became very different, you know? And then, of course, the result became very different.
How did you see your life and the externals change, like the work that you did, or the people that you were friends with?
I was okay with the life of, well, we would call it an ego rhythm life, you know. I was okay with achieve and money and talking, you know, the conversation was how much I owned or what I had or what I wanted to own, and my job and, you know, like more, and finding the husband with the money and finding the, you know, there's a game there that the ego really loves, but it keeps pulling you outside, and it keeps pulling you for this future of more, in this desire or fear of not having it, you know, or something is wrong if you don't have it, you know, and or you're doing something, or you got bad karma, or, you know, all these things that can happen from the mind if you don't fit this benchmark or this story. And as I reflected inward, none of that had a value. But here's the ironic thing. It didn't have a value, and I lost interest in it. And so life changed where I wasn't achieving like that, but I was more sitting in being. And what I mean by being is just not like sitting here just sort of meditating. It was more like, what is really important to me? Where do I want to put my time? My attention is powerful. Where is my attention? What do I want to put my attention on? And who do I want to give it to? Because it's powerful. And in that power, you have a return energy. And if it's offered in a way that is sincere and true to who you are, I have found over and over again, the return energy back is always what I would feel perfectly successful for me. It would bring a peace, a flow, a harmony, even the money that I needed. It's endless.
There's a lot of power in that and in those questions. So thank you for pointing that out for us. And so this spiritual path led you on a journey that included teachings from Eckart Tolle, and then you went on to work with other teachers. Can you tell us about where your journey took you next?
Yeah, so, you know, life has its movement, and over time it was time to kind of leave Eckhart and Kim and move on to other things, but I didn't know what that was, but you could feel the contraction is pushing you into a new expansion. You know, when you follow it, it becomes flow. When I resist, I don't want to leave Eckhart, I want to stay here. You know, a contraction came. It was the weirdest thing. I started to really learn about this power of listening to this energy, you know. And so I moved on. And in that moving on, I found myself going to the United States, and I started developing this retreat center there, and having that retreat center, this is over a period of time, someone had suggested a teacher to come and teach. I had teachers come from all over the world and offer their wisdom. But I knew my feeling when I was with Eckhart. So I invited this teacher to come. And sometimes when I was with Eckhart, I could feel like kind of a vibration in my field. You know, there was this like humming energy. And before this teacher came that I was waiting for him to come at the airport, I could feel this like, whoa, I'm like, who is this? Before, they're flying here, you know, but we're all one, we're all connected. And I could feel this connection. And here comes this beautiful man walking towards me with these long, gorgeous dreads, smiling. He has these bear-type hands, big huggable belly, and here he is embracing me, Mr. Mooji G. You know, Mooji is amazing. So Eckhart gave me the gift of this awareness, you know, but Mooji just like let me get into this mushy heart, you know. Just like we spent so much time together, and in that time together, it was really loving the love. And it's not the love like, oh, I love you. It's the love of the self, so much so that you're profoundly moved to tears, and you just feel a deep connection. It's just a deep connection, you know? And what was so nice to be in his presence and travel with him, I went to Brazil and Portugal and India. And in this time traveling with him, the diverse group of people that would come around, you got to see the expression in various ways, you know? And, you know, with Eckhart, it was quite simple. It's like, be here in the moment. just like that. What's right here in the moment. Where Mooji was just be in all of this. Be in the awe of it all. You see, much like his nature, you know, he's like the big bear that loves everybody and hugs everybody, you know. Eckhart is a bit of a hermit, you know. And so Mooji gave me this opportunity to do a deeper investigation. And the deeper investigation wasn't so much to look more at criticizing myself. It was more of seeing the magnificence, you know. And that there is these little rhythms that once in a while the ego will pop up and do this, like, what about me? And then it kind of, through love, it just like dissipates again, you know? And a peace is always there. You know, something happened to me during this time that a stillness stayed. And I call it like I'm resting in my heart, like I'm resting in my chest. There's this, like, if you take a breath and you rest in the chest, you take a nice deep breath, and you just rest there. It's kind of like that feeling. It's just like, oh yeah, okay. And you just stay there.
It's a nice place to stay, definitely.
Yeah.
Your journey has led you to a lot of heart-centered moments and a lot of teachers. What do you think is the importance of working with a teacher, with other people as your guide on this spiritual path?
You know, I at that time, I still didn't see the importance of a teacher. That was the strangest thing. I just thought it was like, wow, I was getting all these big wow awarenesses through my time with Eckhart and Mooji. But it's when I went to Thailand, and I lived in a jungle temple in Thailand. And the monk that I trained under there, he spoke very little, but when he did, there was this deep knowing, you know, and it was just absolutely profoundly, I realized at that time, to be with someone who has experienced or gone through something sincerely, not through book knowledge, really absolutely experienced it. And the wisdom they give you is the love and the compassion that supports the other person, or we're going to call it maybe the student, that supports the other person to have the courage to rest on that fluttering fence, you know, one side you're here, one side you're there, one side, you know, there is a moment of that. And some of the students that come to me who go through those stages with me, I actually have a young man right now who I'm working with, and he comes now to me because sometimes I have to send him out to go investigate yourself, not to get that story of that dependent energy, don't like it, but the one where you start to discover yourself. So he comes sometimes back and goes, oh, is this the mind or is this the heart? It's kind of getting muffled and I can't really make sense of it. This is where a teacher is good, because a teacher can say, please, darling, stay right where you are. You're in the heart. It's just a little bit shaky and it's okay. It's totally okay. You see? And it's just that sweet reminder. There's nothing a teacher can teach you. There's nothing a teacher can teach you. All the teacher does is open up the wisdom that they have learned for you to reflect within yourself, to recognize that wisdom in yourself, because we are all one. It might be delivered a little bit differently. This is why you can find these teachers, like, for example, Eckhart is the hermit type. So when you're around him, he has no interest in your feelings or emotions. Just be here now. Period. Where Mooji is this big bubbling heart. He has interest in emotion. He loves the diversity of this. So when you're around him, there's this experience. And myself, I'm kind of practical. How do we take it into the everyday life? Yes, we have this. And I have the courage to go into what's dark and light and take it into the everyday life. I love mixing science and spirit together, you see? So find someone who you really sincerely trust, that they have gone through experiences themselves, and they can speak of it through honesty. And the honesty is often the experience is usually pain and a journey of pain and coming through to the peace or the harmony or the stillness. But it never starts in the joy. It usually always starts in pain. So look for that person who you feel a connection to as to how they live their life, maybe, you know, and then trust that, you see.
Absolutely. I hear that. And especially when you're talking about how the teacher can't teach you anything, that it is all that inner journey and that your teacher supports and guides you. I would love to hear more about how you support and guide people and what your work looks like.
Well, I offer different modalities. So I work with the brain and the neural pathways of the brain. I do a light therapy, and the light therapy is activating these pathways so that we have what I call a healthy, active brain, the pineal gland, the meditation brain. It's kind of keeps the brain fresh and clean after over years of illness or tired or aging or accident or drugs or alcohol or things like this. It affects the pathways of the brain, which affects how you respond to life because it's not firing healthy. So I have a modality where we help to work with that. I also do energy balancing. So I work with limitations and blocks held in the subconscious programming. We find those and clear them. And I also work, you see behind me, the singing bowls, the Tibetan singing bowls, and they are high frequency or frequencies that work with the chakra body. So someone may come to me who feels they have a limitation or block, or they're going through some change. And through muscle testing, I'll find the best modality for them, or my intuitive connection can sort of guide me that way. But ultimately, what I like to do is go to the core. You see, what is the core vibration here? Not what's happening right in this moment. Let's discover where this seed from, where it's seeded from. And then we go and we work with this seed. And through that seed comes some kind of understanding or wisdom. And this understanding or wisdom then gives you the opportunity to recognize it. And when you fully recognize it, then you have what I call the power to do something about it. It's not the mystery or the secret anymore. It's something that's clear and practical and to the point. And now let's find the most natural pathway to either heal it. Sometimes it's just recognizing it and it'll heal it. And sometimes there is a plan of action.
Definitely. There's a lot of power in just recognizing it and calling it out and seeing what we do and seeing our patterns and where they came from.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's something that we can do today, like our audience can, something you can share and teach that we can all try out right now.
Well, you know, I love conscious breath meditation. I think that's a really nice thing to do. It's not a meditation technique, but it's something natural we do. So maybe what I can do is I actually have one of my tin shots here. So I can ring them and we can maybe go into a little bit of a guided, and we can do this for ourselves too at any time. Okay, so the best thing to do is probably sit down and get yourself comfortable and feel yourself in the chair that you're in. And then we just take a conscious breath. So this is a nice breath in. You can do the mouth and nose. Let's not have any rules here. Just let yourself be natural. There's no rules. Don't fall into your practice. Let your own body, the intelligence of your body, guide you through this one. And we're taking a breath in with soft eyes or closed eyes and breathing out and kind of melt into the chair. Let the body melt into the chair. And one more breath in and letting the body melt into the chair. Okay. And as the sound fades away, allow the body to relax. Our attention is powerful. And we'll move our attention to the top of our head, right at the crown. And with breath, we'll imagine clearing this area like a golden light or a white light, flushing it and clearing it. And allowing this beautiful light to gently enter the top of the head, cleansing the brain, the neural pathways, the pineal gland, and breath, and flushing this past the eyes, clearing the nose, letting this beautiful energy flush down past the jaw, clearing the face, into the neck. And in a breath, we're going to take a breath in and let the neck elongate. There's lots of space between the head and the shoulders here. Just really imagining it having some space and letting the body know it's totally perfectly aligned. And as the sound and the breath washes over the shoulders, we're going to give the shoulders permission to drop down and back. Taking a breath. Letting the shoulders drop down and back. Moving this energy down the back, relaxing we might call the angel wings. Let that area relax. Breathing down into the hips. And letting this beautiful energy just drip down the back of the legs into the earth. It's like liquid gold just slipping down the back of the legs, cleansing, clearing, and just everything you no longer want is being dropped into this beautiful Mother Earth. She can take it. And root yourself down in there. Really connect, grounded and centered. Breath, cleansing, clearing. Root nice and deeply there. And as you bring fresh energy, really nice earth grounded energy back up through your energy field, through your feet, to the front of the legs, over the toes and over the arch of the foot, up the ankles, this beautiful grounding energy. It might have a color, might have a different frequency. Bring it up the shins, over the knees, really cleansing these knees, allowing life force to be built up into the knees to flow over the large muscles of the legs. Breath. Into the hips, and really allow the hips to open here. This is where the organs get to rest. Let the hips open through your breath. Give them permission to get nice and wide and really supported by the seat. Breathing and allowing this to enter the stomach and really giving nurturing energy and life force to the digestion, the organs, the lungs. Over the breasts, and allowing the nurturing breasts to be nurtured and cleansed. So beautiful. Heart, it takes care of the heart chakra. Connecting to the throat chakra. Allowing the energy to run off the shoulders, down the elbows, out the fingers, with this beautiful flow of energy. Over the face and out the top of the head as a perfect connection. Perfect to the chakras, to the universe, to your highest intelligence. All connected, grounded as one. And a final breath to come back into the body and rest into the heart chakra, into the chest area in this beautiful, relaxing, peaceful state. Stillness, oneness, you. Gently open your eyes, and as you open your eyes, receive the room and what you're witnessing just a little differently, a little bit more fresh, a little more new. See things just a little cleaner. This is you witnessing your outer world, grounded, centered, here now.
Thank you. I feel almost giddy. Like that's incredible. It's so simple, but I feel like I want to giggle. I am definitely going to listen to that again, and I'm sure that there are members of our audience that are going to replay this over and over just to hear the sound of your voice and the chime and the deepening simplicity.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I really appreciate that practice. I'm so excited to share it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So, coming back to this recording. Oh, this is going to be such a joy to share. I'm sure that people will want to find more out about you, and all the links to your website, which is amazing. There's so much information on it, will be in the links below this video, so that people can contact you and work with you further. Is there anything that anyone in our audience would need to know if they wanted to learn more about you and work with you?
No, they can email me, and I do get a lot of emails, but I do get back to everyone personally, and I work on Skype, and often I'll come to communities if the community calls for me. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Maytawee. I also wanted to ask you about your name so that our audience could hear. You have such a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you, thank you. It was given to me by my monk in the temple. It's an old Lana name, the original language of the Thai people, and it's an ancient name that means the one who lifts up. So the monks will observe the students for some time, a year or so, and then find their nature and then give them a name to match that nature. So they feel that my teaching and what I offer lifts people up, and so Maytawee is the one.
Oh, wonderful. I definitely feel uplifted, and I'm sure lots of people in our audience feel the same. Is there anything that you'd like to leave us with today? Some encouragement.
Well, right now I notice my throat chakra is a little bit tight, so I realize that because I'm an intuitive, I can feel that I'm clearing some throat chakras. So no, who's ever here, I'm taking care of your chakra for you here. And it's the one of speaking your truth, and it's the one of being heard. So be willing to be heard and speak your truth. It's powerful, it's freeing, it's the truth. So thank you for letting me spend some time with you. Be well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time spent with us today. So thank you again for spending this time.
Namaste.
Namaste, and thank you everyone for watching and tuning in. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next time.